we're going to take a look at parting wings. The study of the universal pattern shows us how to use the space around our body for various sundry things. So to kind of, this is the warm-up. It's going to be these interlocking figure eights. I have individual figure eights, where I got one figure eight in front of me. I got figure eights where I got both of them in front of me, right? And they're going back and forth. What I want you to think about doing is going right hand over on one pass, under on the other hand. So change which hand's on top on each pass. And if you get bored, you can do what I do that really annoys the people I train next to. I start singing tra-la-la-bum-dee, tra-la-la-bum-dee, because this really is sort of the orchestra leader piece, right? Everybody in the world knows parting wings done properly is defense against the low front two-hand push. It will never work against an attempted bear hug. It will never work against dispatching an attacker, dispatching a target. It'll never work. Oh God, fill in the blanks, right? It'll never work against that. We have this in figure set, right? Stop right like this, right? So we're going to do, I'm going to assume part of the money's on self-business, and I just really want to hurt Clark. So,
He gets that
I have my Trollala Boom Gang. And I'm going to start, because you have to go tap, tap, tap. Is the orchestra ready? Right? So I'm going to check to see if the orchestra's ready by sticking two fingers in the eyes, one each eye. I'm going to rake out and down, and there's my parting wings. Right? If we change it, the attack to, let's say, in a circling bear hug. I got a guy running, I can go tra-la-la. It starts to make sense now, doesn't it? So I'm just going to switch a little bit. I'm just going to go, ah, oh my God, big bad guy attacking me. Here. Mr. Hale has, I will hopefully make, if he hasn't, there's a difference between outer rim and outer perimeter. Outer rim is a defensive concept that says I've got this little bitty area in front of me that when I'm just defending, throwing blocks, I don't want to violate it. If he's throwing a punch at me, I don't want to go, rah, and violate my own outer rim to block it. I want to stay small and go, eek, hide behind this thing, right? Step out a little small box. Outer perimeter is anywhere I can reach. Right? Economy of motion. People say it violates the economy of motion. Talk way back here. It really doesn't, because economy of motion, the definition has the tail end of it, as long as it gets the desired effect. So I can do my palm heel from here. I just had economy of motion. I went from point of origin to point of contact. Or I can do my palm heel from back here. Right? And this, my great lesson in this was exactly what I just did to Clark. First time I met Mr. Parker, I'm like, I'll be your dummy. I know, I should have done it. Now, Bob White's got the mirrors on the wall, and he's doing the palm heel, and the mirrors are about the distance from right from me to those walls. And Mr. Parker's
dummy, not okay.
Yeah, I didn't say okay. And he was, this is how he was chambering his palm heel. And he was landing it with this, and it was knocking me feet off the ground. I'd hit the mirrors and slide down the mirrors with a squeak, boom, sound. Get back up. And it's like, I waited 30 years to stand in front of this guy. I'm not going to puss out now. Thank you, sir. Okay, here we go again. Boom! And it was just, this was how he chambered his palm heel. It wasn't from here, right? This is why I make fun of these. No, it's so. In this, all right, you good? Good. In this context, right? We have party wing. Tra-la-la, boom-de-ay, I. Now this hand starts way the heck back here. This is going to be an inward hand sword. I'm starting my inward hand sword back here, not here. When you're in a horse dance, I teach you to start here. I'm starting back here because I'm going to hit him with my whole body, not my hand. Truck versus bumper. Put that one up, right? So I don't want to go, right? It's also not a strike sideways. This has to have a forward component to it. The check is ongoing change in depth, right? So my tra-la-la, boom-de-ay. I've got my palm heel rake. Is this in finger set? Right? Is this palm heel, inward palm heels and chops and kempo? Right? Have we stopped doing kempo yet?
No, sir.
No. Have we stopped doing party wings yet?
No, sir.
No. Right? So we have here. Right? Sorry.
I wish we had.
I've got my rake. I've got Clark moving back. At this moment here, he's going to start moving rearward, which means I'm going to have to chase him. If I actually nail this or this, is he in range for me to hit a forward bow?
No, sir.
No! Right? So I'm going to have to chase them down. So parting wings becomes it. Bam, I'm using an attacking front crossover. I'm going to run them down. And you usually see this maneuver. You see this. This drops, becomes a check. And I was like, check against what? Is he going to hit his ball sack? You know, really? What am I checking? I got nothing else I'm worried about. So after I hack, I drop it to the shoulder. And as I unfold out of this, I have a knee, a strike. If you guys ever go shooting, put like a bottle or a can on a fence post?
Yes, sir.
Right? That's what I think of this as. I'm sniping, and here's my watermelon, and I put it on the fence post. I had a gun for a while called a 221 Fireball. The gun is not the gun, that's the round. And a 221 Fireball is a little bitty bullet and a really long cartridge, and with a lot of powder behind it. And it's used to, quote-unquote, shoot varmints. It was the assassin's gun of choice for years and years and years, because when they shoot like a 45 or hollow point or something like that, they'll talk about, it goes in small, comes out big. The 221 Fireball turns things inside out. So you shoot a pumpkin with a 45, you have a tiny hole in the front, a big hole in the back, and a bunch of pieces of the pumpkin go flying, and everyone's really impressed. When you shoot a pumpkin with a 221, it implodes, does this, and then you're like, we got soup, we got no pieces, right? So this is my 221 Fireball. There's my attack. Mr. Parker, I challenge you to find footage of him doing this for vertical thrust match. If you flip through Secrets of Chinese Karate, one of his first books, the earliest books, you'll see this list of basics that no longer show up on any of the belt cards. And among them is a vertical chopping thrust punch. I start it like an inward hand sword. Instead of finishing inward hand sword, it becomes a thrust and vertical punch. And this allows me to get my whole body, my whole shoulder, and a basic power, like pitching a softball. In a softball, you don't pitch a softball point of origin, point of contact. It's a wind on the thing and you hack it. And there's going to be my wind on the thing. I got here, I got this thing back here. So the extension I have, if we put Clark's head in the way of that extension, right, we have a really nice strike manipulation component of setting the guy for the extension order we want to do next. So, parting wing, we're not losing it. We're still within the framework of the technique. Two-finger spear, tra, la, boom, da, right? So give it a couple taps. Let's all face the same direction. Try this way. Forward or back step, I don't actually care. I like attacking, I usually go forward. Two-finger spear, rake and come rearward. As these circle up and back, the left fingers will rake the eye, the right will chop the liver. Liver? Is that the right side? No, fingers, whatever it's on. From here, I'm going to hit my tra-la-la again as I return to neutral bow. I got my chop, it's going to land on a shoulder, and then this is going to come out of the back 40, over the top. It starts like a waiter tray holding a plate. I'm going to plate, I'm going to spin it, like I can spin plate. But it's going to go from spinning a plate to 7. And so that's going to be my hand pattern. We're going to have two different patterns, so we extrapolate on this a little bit. So we'll start with the hand. Tra, la, boom, yeah. Right? Tra, la, boom, yeah. And the feet, we'll add later. But the feet, if we have to chase them down, we're going to work them, right? So the feet, I have my attack, tra, la, ooh, look at that. La, boom, yeah. Okay. So we're going to start filling the blanks. The common definition of the gaseous stage of basics is, again, flawed. Very specific conversation with Mr. Parker about this, and so I don't know. If you talk to different people, they just don't bloody listen, right? So when you ask people now, it's the gaseous phase of it, they'll say, well, it's exploding in all directions at once. So it's when you have multiple opponents, you got 4 or 5 guys around you, you're like, ha, and you hit everybody. Because the gas particles go out in every direction, right? If you put those same gas particles in a balloon and an enclosed surface and add energy, they start bouncing off of the balloon and each other. So when we start doing things like rebounding off of our own body, off of our chest, off of each move, now we're moving into gaseous motion. When we start filling in the blanks, so there are no blank moments. If all I am is upper carriage, where's the blank moment? Down there. If I start filling in the blank moment, so there is no blank, now we're moving into this gaseous component of chemical basic, right? So we want to switch from this bit, this is parting wings. Parting wings does right, is a low G major, part the wings like this, right? Move A, move B, move C, right? Start, and you can't fill in the blanks with linear. If I'm throwing straight shots, every single time I throw something, if I'm throwing a straight chop, a straight overhand sword, a straight punch, I can't work off of my body the way I can when I have. The pieces come from you bouncing off of yourself and bouncing off of your attacker, and we'll get to those in the next technique. But first, let's get this one better.